Imagine this. You stand up for just a few seconds, maybe to grab another biscuit or finally find where you dropped the remote. And when you turn around, your seat has been annexed. There sits your cat, looking perfectly composed, perhaps even a bit smug, as if they've been sitting there since the dawn of time. Most of us joke that our cats are just being jerks, or that they're trying to assert dominance like some tiny furry Napoleon. But as someone who spends a lot of time looking at the intersection of journalism and animal psychology, I can tell you that the dominance myth is pretty much debunked. What's actually happening is a fascinating blend of high-level biology, evolutionary strategy, and a surprisingly deep emotional bond. Your cat isn't trying to annoy us. They're participating in a complex social ritual that involves everything from thermodynamics to neurochemistry. The first reason is one that hits your energy bill: pure thermal efficiency. We have to remember that cats are essentially high-performance biological heaters. Their basal metabolic rate is geared toward maintaining a body temperature of about 102 degrees Fahrenheit, which is significantly higher than ours. In the world of biology, heat is a precious resource. When you sit in a chair, you're basically acting as a giant human radiator, preheating the fabric. For your cat, stealing your seat isn't just about comfort. It's a strategic move to conserve their own metabolic energy. Why burn their own calories to stay warm when they can just harvest the thermal energy you've so kindly left behind? They aren't just being lazy, they're being incredibly efficient physicists. But the second reason is where things get truly intimate, and we need to dive deep into the science of smell. Cats live in a world of olfactory data that we can barely imagine. They have these specialized scent glands on their cheeks, their paws, and the base of their tail that produce unique pheromones. However, the real magic happens when they encounter your scent. When your cat occupies your seat, they are diving into a concentrated cloud of your personal chemical signature. In animal psychology, we call this the creation of a group scent. By pressing their body into the place where you just were, they are engaging in a process of olfactory merging. They are literally wrapping themselves in your identity. This behavior triggers the release of oxytocin in their brain, the same love hormone humans feel when they hug someone they care about. Scientific studies have shown that being surrounded by a familiar, safe scent can drastically lower a cat's cortisol levels, which is the primary stress hormone. So, when you see them on your chair, they aren't just taking your spot. They are seeking a chemical hug to regulate their own nervous system. It's their way of saying that your scent is their ultimate safe haven. The third reason is all about environmental validation. In the wild, animals have to constantly assess which areas are safe for a nap. By sitting in that chair for an hour, you have essentially certified that spot as a zero-danger zone. Your cat trusts your judgment implicitly. If the giant wise biped thinks this specific patch of the sofa is safe, then it must be the most secure location in the entire house. Now, for the fourth reason, we have to look at something called social learning and the safe base effect. This is a very sophisticated cognitive process. Recent studies in feline cognition have shown that cats don't just see us as food dispensers. They view us as a safe base similar to how human infants view their parents. This leads to a behavior called mirroring or social imitation. Your cat watches you constantly. They know your routines, your preferences, and exactly which chair you value most. In their mind, your favorite seat has a high social value. It is the throne of the house. By sitting there, they are trying to align themselves with your status. It's not about taking over, it's about sharing your importance. They are practicing a form of cognitive mimesis, doing what the successful member of the group does to ensure their own success. It's a massive compliment. They want to experience the world from your perspective and inhabit the spaces you've deemed important. It's an expression of high-level social bonding that proves how much they admire your role in their life. Now, let's talk about reason number 5, which is a masterpiece of interspecies social engineering. In behavioral psychology, we call this operant conditioning, but in plain English, it means your cat has basically hacked your brain. Think about it. If your cat sits in a random corner, you might walk past them with a quick pet. But if they sit exactly where you need to be, they have forced a high-stakes negotiation. They know that by occupying your throne, they are guaranteed a dopamine hit of human interaction. You might try to bribe them with a treat to move. You might pick them up for a forced snuggle. Or you might just spend 5 minutes explaining to them why they're being unreasonable. To a cat, all of that is a win. They have learned that your seat is the geographical center of your attention. In a world where we are often distracted by our laptops or our phones, your cat has identified the one spot on Earth where you cannot ignore them. They aren't just stealing a chair, They are staging a tiny furry protest against your screen time, and frankly, their success rate at getting us to talk to them is better than any marketing campaign ever devised. This leads us directly into reason number 6, which is even more uncanny: the precision of their internal clock and the mastery of your routine. We used to think cats were just reactive, but we now know they possess a highly developed suprachiasmatic nucleus. That's the tiny part of the brain that acts as a master biological clock. Your cat doesn't just know when it's time for dinner. They have mapped out the latency of your entire evening. They know the exact sequence of events that leads to you sitting down. They hear the specific click of the kettle, the way you close your laptop, or the certain sigh you make when you finally finish your chores. They are essentially time travelers living 5 minutes in your future. By occupying your seat right before you get there, they are demonstrating a profound level of cognitive synchronization with your life. They aren't just guessing, they are anticipating your presence and pre-warming the social space for the exact moment you arrive. It's a sign that their internal life is perfectly calibrated to yours. They are waiting for you in the most intimate way possible, by inhabiting the exact space you are about to occupy. But hold on for a moment, because what I'm about to tell you next is the real kicker. It's the secret evolutionary layer that most people never even consider. This brings us to our 7th reason, which is perhaps the most profound: the evolutionary concept of allostatic load sharing and strategic guard duty. We often think of cats as solitary, but they are actually very social in their own way. In a natural colony, sleep is the most dangerous time, because that's when a predator can strike. When you get up and leave the room, your cat sees a security vacuum. By moving into your seat, which is usually a high vantage point with a clear view of the room's entrances, they are essentially taking over the watch. They are occupying the commander's post to keep the territory secure until you return. This is a survival instinct. They are managing the stress of the environment for both of you. They keep the spot warm and claimed so that no intruders, even imaginary ones, can move in while the leader is away. They are acting as your fluffy 4-legged security detail, ensuring the nest remains protected. It's a deeply rooted instinct of vigilance that shows they see you as a vital part of their pack that is worth protecting. They are literally holding the fort. However, even with all these fascinating and often funny reasons, we have to talk about the one time this behavior becomes a serious red flag. In veterinary medicine and animal psychology, we look for changes in sickness behavior. Because cats are both predators and prey in the wild, they are evolutionarily hardwired to mask pain and vulnerability. If your cat has spent years being a seat thief and suddenly, for no apparent reason, they stop this behavior entirely, you need to pay attention. If they no longer seek your warmth, no longer want to merge with your scent, and instead start hiding in low, dark, or isolated places, this is often a sign of significant physical or psychological distress. A sudden stop in these social seat-stealing rituals can be the first symptom of chronic pain, kidney issues, or severe anxiety. When the social light goes out, it's usually because the body is redirecting all its energy toward fighting an internal battle. That silence is their way of telling you they need help. So, the next time you find your chair occupied by a ball of fur, don't see it as a nuisance. See it as a high-tech evolutionary masterpiece of love and loyalty. Your cat is using science, instinct, and a bit of clever psychology to tell you that you are the most important part of their world. They are keeping the seat warm, the scent fresh, and the territory safe, just for you. Good night to you and your furry roommate,